Alright, so smoke immediately from Gus Gaming there. Looking for their foray onto the Radiant side, possibly catching out a Kunkka. What do they see? They're actually going to run over to the right here. Maybe finding a Tide Hunter. Items for him, he started out with a Quelling Blade and 2 Tangos. Going for the deep run here. Not finding anything just yet. And they definitely have the ability to get some kills with Arrow and Impale, as well as Disruption. They definitely could find a kill, but it is off the mark. Comanche just able to avoid that. So we'll just take a quick look at all the items. I guess that Darkseer is going to be going into the off lane. Tidehunter probably starting inside the jungle. And we're going to have a Husker bottom. I think we saw all those items. Boots first for Magnus. Being a support, it's probably to be expected. And knowing that the Tidehunter is going to be in the jungle, they want to try to disrupt that a little bit early. So they'll send the Nyx top. We have a lot of heroes waiting inside the jungle. Mirana's over at mid. And it's just off the mark. Maybe they had an idea that Gus Gaming would do such a thing. But they just go over to bottom, put down a ward. They'll see Chappie's there. Maybe they want to get the supports. They put the Tidehunter over in the mid lane. Should be interesting against a Mirana. And he went first level in Kraken Shell. Looking for that wraparound. Disruption is going to be available. No, it's not. He's leveled up the poison first. Now, Begenya looking for the skewer. Misses it. Arrow off the mark. He'll get a lot of damage with the poison, but unfortunately, everything was off the mark for the Dire side, and now they have no one over at bottom. They're just going to leave the Husker by himself. Don't want to give him any kind of early advantage. And they'll make their way over to the top lane where Nyx Assassin is just there. He's got the Carapace available. He'll use it, get the stun off. Off lane is going to be slowed here. Oh, Magnus is there, but he doesn't have the... Oh, he does have the skewer. He's going to be able to get it off. Thinking about it, he's underneath the tower. Oh, he'll get him over to the side. And Nyx Assassin, he's got another stun. And that's the first blood. Back to school, finding it with the dagger and the hit. Very well played by them. Magnus forced to use 2 skewers to start out the game, but it works out for him. And they leave the Mirana alone at mid. I guess Tidehunter took a little bit too much damage from that, and he just wants to get some stacks down. So he picks up his bottle, gets an Anchor Smash, almost level 3. We'll get it from this creep. So regardless of what the Mirana can do in this lane, he is getting some levels. And look at this Magnus thinking about going for a courier. Now, the Tidehunter already has a bottle, and he doesn't use mana very quickly, so it's not like he needs to bottle crow a whole lot. But maybe the mag can come around from the side here. Maybe find a kill. And Shadow Demon was scouted out by the Observer Ward placed by the Radiant. So I don't think this Tidehunter is going to be in too much trouble. And he just goes over once again and is going to try to stack this camp. And that is an easy way to bottle crow. Just go over, stack the hard camp, and instant bottle. Now Shadow Demon coming in. Oh, gets the speed from the Mirana. There's going to be the arrow, and it's on the mark. Now Magnus, he's got the skewer. It's the Kunkka with it. He'll throw down a torrent. It only hits his own illusions. And that's another kill for Gus Gaming. So Comanche last game had the early lead. But this time it's Gus who take a couple of kills working with the Shadow Demon and Magnus very well. Also hitting the arrow. Very easy setups from them, and also the Shadow Demon's going to scout out some of those creeps. Rotation there puts the Nyx Assassin into the off lane. Phantom Assassin trying to get as much farm as she can top, but Darkseer is a bit of a difficult matchup for her, and then this is her death. There's no way she gets out of that. Not sure if that buy happened before she died, but it might have. Probably would like to see her get a bit more space. Now they scout out the Tidehunter going for some creeps, trying to clear that stack. He's not getting a whole lot of levels from mid. He's not able to stay there too much at all. He is level 4. Oh, what do they see? They don't see too much over there, it being nighttime. So they're just going to sit at the hard camp. Tidehunter forced back over to the mid lane. And Shadow Demon thinking about it. Do they have vision of him? They did for a little bit there, and they do now. Shadow Demon thinking about it, going for the disrupt, and he'll get it. Kunkka's there. Arrow on the mark, but the Torrent completely misses. It only hits the illusions. Oh, Skewer off the mark, but I think no, it's a very low level on poison. And the Dazzle, of course, is there for the heals. And, well, Tidehunter manages to stay alive, so he's a bit too tanky for that kill. And where's the PA gone? Back over the top lane. Trying to slow down the Darkseer as much as possible, but she is taking a lot of damage from this Ion Shelled creep. It's a level 4 Ion Shell, so she was at full health. Now she's down to half, less than half. That's a bit of a tough lane for her, and I would like to see her get a bit more help from the supports, but they just want to kill the Tidehunter as much as possible, which is a little bit weird for me. Gets some more regen. Thinking about going for the Darkseer. Now the real question is, how much can these supports do? Torrent off the mark once again. X gets used on Magnus. He's most likely dead now, except there is going to be the disruption. So now they've got the double Ion Shell. He has a Skewer available. Surge gets used on the Darkseer. And the Skewer only hits the Darkseer. So they use the Mirana ultimate to try to get away here. Trying to slow down Darkseer as much as possible. He's very low on mana, uses the Surge to get away. Oh, nearly taken down, but he's going to be able to get the salve off inside the trees. Torrent gets used, but they're not chasing the Kunkka down. And they create some space for the PA. And maybe Chappie goes in on this, Orbiter taking some damage, but neither really has enough to go for it. And the Nyx Assassin gets away from the big bad Husker. Mirana still farms up though. She's had a ton of space to start out the map. Gone for the Aquila and boots and a bottle. See what the build ends up being. They did nerf her a little bit with the Aghanim Scepter. Change. It kind of read a little bit weird, but they're smoked up now. They did see the Dazzle there, so maybe they still get him. But they're actually going to go through the jungle, looking to see if anyone's clearing camps. They should find a hero here, honestly. Like, at least they could get a Dazzle, just checking to see if anyone was inside the jungle. Dazzle probably doesn't expect the gank to come from that direction. And they're thinking about walking through the tower. So where's the vision? They see them. It was a nice jungle ward. Placed down by Dazzle. Ooh, disrupt on the mark. Now here's going to be the arrow. It hits the Dazzle. No way that he gets out of this one. And the double Starfall ends up hitting.
They should have run while they had that Radiant's courier has been killed.
And they also get a courier. Not sure where that one was. Smoke here from the Radiant side. They have a Ravage available from Tidehunter surging in the Kunkka. He's going to get the X on Mirana. Now, is she going to be able to get away? She has the leap in 1 second, but the Tidehunter ultimate, I don't even know if it's needed. There's so much damage from the Ion Shell, and they are trying to chase her down. She uses the double Starfall, but that's really just a last-ditch effort. No help there available, and it's a pretty big kill.
Dire's middle tower is under
And then
attack.
elsewhere, the Husker did end up dying to a Phantom Assassin. Magnus might get caught out a little bit here. X'd up. There is a Torrent in 1 second. Ooh, misses the Shockwave. And, well, I think Magnus is going to be completely fine. Makes some illusions on the Tidehunter. He still has the Ravage, so it was a good disrupt on him just to keep him out of range. And over at bottom, Mirana ultimate gets the PA out, and there's just no detection here. How long do the Radiant want to stay around? That's really the question. Phantom Assassin, Nyx Assassin, lots of assassins here. Mirana is also available with the Starstorm. Ooh, arrow slightly missed. It was close to hitting. And arrows early on a Husker before he has that magic resist. A very good thing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Kunkka getting caught out here. Impale. Just hesitated a little bit with it. And, yep, Kunkka not able to get away from that one.
Dire's middle tower
Now we've
is
got the
under
wraparound
attack.
over on mid. Mirana's still going for that Aghanim Scepter. And, yeah, she's farming pretty well at this point. Take a look at the net worth. She is at the top. The Phantom Assassin's items. She's gone for a Helm of the Dominator and the Poor Man's Shield to start out. No power treads or anything. She's just kind of trying to lifesteal off these creeps. More pauses though. Had a lot of pauses over the past 2 games. Hopefully things are fine with the teams for the rest of the day, but at least these guys only have one, so each team will play 1 match per day, except for probably the last day. And we'll see what we can do about our stream for you guys tomorrow. I'm definitely not available. So we will see what happens. Excellent Mirana in the mid lane. We'll just use the Starstorm. Only going to pull her back a sec. Kunkka didn't want to go for the full combo. Over at top, we might have a little bit of action. Tidehunter's been surged in. Could go for the Ravage, but back to school. He's kind of juked it out. Goes through the trees. He'll blink away. Oh, disruption again on the Tidehunter. Keeping away from this. Now he's still hasted up. But all he can do is just kill some of these creeps. And, well, illusions of himself, they do hurt a little bit. Torrent ends up hitting. And, well, Mirana's actually going to stay here a little bit. The Gush gets used. The Ravage available. He's just going to pop it. The Shadow Demon again. Well, this time he's going to get caught out in it. Now the Tidehunter is stunned underneath the tower. Impale's going to be there. So is the boat. And, well, Nyx Assassin is here invisible. He's got the Vendetta going. Also the Mana Boots if he needs them. Waiting for another stun to come off cooldown. But right now, Comanche standing strong, taking down 1 on the mid lane. Finally using that Ravage, not getting disrupted by the Shadow Demon. So, in any case, Chappie continues to farm. He's getting closer and closer to his armlet. Still needs the rest. Actually, he's got the recipe delivered by the courier, just as we talk about it. And Darkseer killed by a Nyx Assassin, a very sneaky Nyx Assassin. Finally being able to use that Vendetta. Darkseer taking a bit too much damage from the creeps.
Radiant's middle tower
Ends up
is under
dying.
attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Kunkka's kind of waiting out in the trees here. Now, he'll throw out a Torrent on Magnus, who's having a couple of mana problems. He's going for the Blink Dagger first build. But nothing really happening there. Just kind of looking at each other for a little bit. Torrent's going to get thrown out. Oh, it hits him. And it doesn't give the Kunkka any farm, but it does slow down the Magnus a little bit. There's going to be another X. Again, harassing the Magnus. And the boat hits. Oh, Torrent. Is the Magnus dead here? It's very low. Hits the Tidebringer, but with the Mirana there, he cannot chase it at all. And he tried to get the Magnus down with the combo, going very low, but just
Dire's
wasn't
middle
enough.
tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now they're kind of congregating around the double damage rune. Phantom Assassin's there with the dagger, looking for another one, but Tidehunter is here. He's got a Ravage in 20 seconds, and I think they might be going into the Roach Pit. A dagger crit on Dazzle might slow this down a little bit, but I believe that Gus Gaming know all about this. Comanche fighting for their Europe Power Tournament lives. They go into Roche. If they lose this game, they are out. They have a long way to go, even if they do win. But with Roshan only taking down the half and Husker very low, they're going to go for the Moonlight Shadow. Dazzle gets the ultimate off. Chappie very low. They do need to be careful. See if they can find the initiation. They have the Tidehunter ultimate. They have the Ravage, but they're all invisible. And Tide might get... he might get gone on here, but he's still got the Ravage, and he'll think about using it. They're all trying to go around to but the Impale is going to be in time. Now they'll get the Ravage on the 3. And that's going to be the first one dying. The Phantom Assassin is down. Couldn't really contest this early team fight that Comanche have, and I think Nyx Assassin might be the next one to fall. Mirana's coming in from the backs here. Bo's going to get used. Jumped on by Chappie. Chappie. Oh, RP on the 3, but that's really all that's going to happen. Most of the heroes are dead, and, well, 3 heroes down. Nyx Assassin gets out, but, well, the rest of his team not looking too good. And they can go right for Roche again. They'll be taking him down very easily. Armor toggling Husker is a pretty good tool against Roshan. And he'll pick up an Aegis, immediately smoke, maybe go for a Nyx Assassin. I believe they did scout it, and they're actually going to go for the Ancients here. Now with RP being down and most of the teamfight ultimates for the teams, it's going to come down to, I guess, who's able to survive the most. And okay, Chappie's been put on the high ground. He'll jump right down onto Begenia. Mag is just completely wrecked here. Now Arrow hits Chappie. Bo's going to be hitting onto Phantom Assassin, and I think they have to get out. Another courier death. Oh, Phantom Assassin cannot run away from that one. And they just want to keep farming. Mirana Aghanim Scepter is fine, but it's not going to do a whole lot to Husker if he's already low. He does have that innate magic resistance on Berserker's Blood. And with an Aegis in tow, another kill on Phantom Assassin. Comanche, they're looking fairly strong this match. They take down the tier 1 tower. They can possibly keep going. They have another Ravage in 35 seconds. And they also have a wall, boat in 20. I feel like they could keep going here, or they might just want to defend it a little bit. That is one thing a Kunkka can do for your team. He can make sure you guys are always full on mana and health, give you free trips back to the base, only using a TP for it. It does mean that the TPs are down. But here they go, going for the tier 2 tower. Very early push.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is falling. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under
And they'll
attack.
take down the tower very quickly. Now, Gus Gaming have gone for a bit of a counter push, shaking down mid and top. But here they go on the tier 3. They have all their ultimates available. Tidehunter, I don't think they had vision of the Mirana, but she does do some good damage. Now, still going in on the tower. Husker has the Aegis available. Graved up by the Dazzle. Still has the poison on him, and as soon as he, easily popped once the grave is done. So he's on the high ground now. The arrow, it's not there. Mirana's just kind of hanging around. Chappie jumps onto the Nyx Assassin, who uses the Spike Carabase Impale on the mark. Now there's a disruption on Husker. I'm not really sure why, as the vacuum on the 3 and the wall. Chappie's in the middle of everything. Can they take him down? Oh, Grave was not there, and back to school. He's low. He's got the Moonlight Shadow. He's on the middle of the torrent. Oh, and the Kunkka manages to finish him off with the help of the Tidehunter. Begenia interrupts the TP of Dazzle. Dazzle not going to be able to make his way out of this one. And that's a lot of kills for the side of Gus Gaming. Defending the high ground, keeping their tier 3 tower up. A little bit too deep into the base for Comanche. They had the fight. They had pretty much everything they could have ever wanted for that. They did get a buyback out of the Shadow Demon, but that's not really that valuable for them. And Gus Gaming hold. They are still in a bit of trouble. They need the Phantom Assassin to get farmed. But at least they managed to hold their high ground for a little bit longer. Blink on Magnus, like, they have a lot of tools here. And Nyx Assassin's going for an early Aghanim Scepter, wants to get the defense of the high ground as much as possible. Misses the stack there a little bit. Oh well. And Mirana with an Aghanim Scepter. We'll see how effective it can be. It will increase her farm a little bit. Not as much burst as it used to be, but it's still pretty good and a lot of AoE damage. Comanche start to push other lanes now. They want to keep the pressure on Gus Gaming. They just push right through lanes. Ravage down for another 50 seconds. Wall has just come back up. And look at this courier. Tidehunter is following it. Nyx Assassin was just kind of scouting out here. He'll see the Darks here, but not sure how much he actually wants to do to try to hurt him.
Dire's top tower is under Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And we have another pause. So many pauses here. Teams really have to try not to get DDoSed. That's probably the takeaway, honestly. That was sarcasm, by the way. It's not happening. But connection issues definitely playing a part here. Or maybe someone's cat is acting up again. But alright, so here we go. We get back into our match once again. Comanche, they're still pushing through on the top lane. And I don't see much that Gus Gaming are able to do about that. Like, if Comanche aren't pushing into the base that hard, it's really easy for them to just go through towers, take racks, and end this game early against Gus Gaming. So last match was a bit of a farm fest. You had a Naga and an Anti-Mage. This time, Comanche get aggressive. They go Husker, and they're just pushing lanes right now. The Husker isn't even that farmed. He's just at an armlet and a helm, but that's enough. That's just completely enough to roll over the Dire side right now. In terms of other items, there's a Solar Crest on Tidehunter, Gem on Kunkka. Definitely helpful against the Moonlight Shadow. Darkseer has Greaves, and well, Dazzle's just a Dazzle. Maybe able to get some good Graves off soon. Okay, so we'll get back into this match. Nyx Assassin still working towards the Aghanim Scepter. The courier has gone down, so Comanche know that Gus aren't really too interested in fighting a whole lot right now. They just want to try to cut the wave, do everything they can to slow this down. So as soon as they cut the wave, they can back up. Means that Comanche, they only have this creep wave to work with. And Shadow's Demon's going to do as much as he can, trying to spam it out with poison. Disrupt gets used, Torrent hits, arrow slightly off the mark. It actually hits a range creep, and Mirana able to just starfall the wave and make sure it dies. Look at that crit! Wow, very early, 900 crits from Phantom Assassin, picking up the Yasha. But we're really still looking for when Gus Gaming start to come online. They have the Empower from Magnus. He got full levels in it for the Phantom Assassin. So she does farm fairly quickly and can do some good AoE damage in the fights. But he has to keep putting that on her. And she definitely needs a little bit more farm to be effective here. My guess is she works towards a BKB pretty soon. Over at mid, we've got a 5-man push once again. Ward gets placed down by Shadow Demon. And he'll try as hard as he can to spam out the wave. You have a free fortify, may as well use it. Phantom Assassin's still farming up. Doesn't have the Empower anymore. Just using the Torrent to check. And they want to go for that last remaining tier 2. Made some illusions of the Magnus, maybe trying to trick them a little bit, but they leave them all there. So he just does some scouting. Starfall, blink, away, blink in, sleep away. Doing everything they can to slow this down. Phantom Assassin's bottom. Still trying to push out some waves, arrow off the mark. Nobody panicking here.
Radiant's top
Sometimes
tower
that
is
happens
under
with an
attack.
arrow. You see it coming, you're like, where do I go, where to go? And you run in circles until you die. That's a bit unfortunate. We call those arrow catchers where I'm from.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But in any case, Magnus goes over to the side. It's going to be his blink that's down.
Radiant's
And
bottom
PA
tower
still
is
farms.
under
She's
attack.
at 3,300 gold right now. Still has that TP available. I mean, Gus Gaming, they really do not want to fight outside their base. And they still have the Phantom Assassin pushing bottom. Got the Kobold Foreman. Oh
Radiant's
my
bottom
god, the
tower
Kobold
is under
Foreman
attack.
following her up. But look at this. Initiation could be possible on the Magnus. Magnus, if he goes down, it's definitely going to be a big kill. Now, Nyx Assassin has his Agnum Scepter. Torrent off the mark. He's got the X on the Shadow Demon, though. And it's very unlikely that he manages to get away. With the gem on Kunkka, it's very easy for them to take him down. And okay, Magnus is here, gets the skewer back into the base. There's going to be the impale, arrow. Are they able to take him down? Torrent's going to be there, but they also have the grave, keeping the Tidehunter man alive.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nyx Assassin just gets into his impale, his burrow. Using the mana burn, they have the gem for him, so he's got the X on him. Very difficult for him to stay alive, even with that burrow. They still see him with the Kunkka gem, and he's really not happy about that. He probably wanted to stay alive a little bit longer there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So with the Nyx going down, that's really the main delaying tool for Gus, or one of them at least. They have a lot of things they could do. Mirana, Starstorm, Shadow Poison.
Has fallen.
But Phantom Assassin did take care of the tier 2 bottom, so she has her Black King bar right now. So that's one of the tools that she needed in order to get back into this game. Gus Gaming's still holding out. They have not lost any tier 3 towers, and high ground hasn't been broken. And she's still got that Kobold Foreman. If any of you don't know why I'm pointing out this creep, it does give you some speed, but it also has 14 attack damage. So there are some creeps with a little bit lower, but a while back there was this guy who was like, you guys don't know how to carry. You can try the last hit challenge. You want to try to get every last hit, but what you should be doing is the Kobold Foreman challenge, which is a little bit more RNG based, but it's very difficult. Now, Dazzle, Invisible, there's going to be the RP on the Chappie, a little bit off of the arrow. Now, the Grave is going to be there, keeping it alive for a little bit longer, but the BKB used by Phantom Assassin, they're going to try to chase him down. Do they have vision? Actually, Phantom Assassin going for Meisha, trying to do everything they can. Not really doing a lot to the invisible heroes. Wall's going to get placed down. Vacuum, I don't know if it has been used. Back to school, we'll go end up going down. Orbiter trying to do everything he can with the Nyx Assassin trying to back up right now. Kunkka still has the gem. Chappie's been surged. Oh, he's going to burrow inside the trees. And Torrent up in the sky. Orbita. Oh, he uses the Spike Carapace, but there's only so much he can do right now. And there's no way. 4 down for Gus Gaming. Comanche looking like they have this one in the bag so far. Not at the point where buybacks do anything, and well, Frost Armor already available for the Huskar. They just had the Ogre Frost Mage waiting inside the Roche pit, and Chappie goes right for the big guy. Rana decides to go over and push top. Has the boots of travel. We'll use those to get away. And we'll just get back to the Roche.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gus Gaming decided to ping it out, but there's only so much they can do. They just want to push out the waves, keep the creeps away. I mean, if they can just spam it out, like, they can give themselves time, which they've been doing this whole match. It's just sometimes they get outside the base and they cannot take any fights there. So here they go for the base. Chappie jumps right for the Mirana. Oh, she blinks away though. He's getting pulled way in. He needs to get out right now. He is so far in. Slow's going to get used. Impale. Chappie. Do they have a grave for him? Where's the Dazzle? Dazzle just on the other side manages to get the grave off. So the boat comes in. Going to zone them out. Chappie's still healing up. He still has the Aegis as well. Nice move by the Mirana to pull him so far in. But he's just so tanky at this point. Very difficult to take down. Starstorm's going to get hit. So is the dagger. Magnus trying to go around the backside. But he's going to get spit on by the Tidehunter. Now, Disrupt gets used. Arrow on the mark. It hits the Darkseer. But they're not able to quite take him down. The grave is also going to be there. Keeps him alive a little bit longer. His illusions are trying to hit him, but he's going to get healed up by the Guardian Greaves and the Urn. And back to school a little bit far out. Really waiting to see where the initiation is coming from. Husker has the Satanic. Very difficult to kill right now. Arrow hits Tidehunter. Starstorm gets dropped down. Another Starstorm by Mirana pulls the creeps away from the base. Another disruption and the demonic purge on Husker. Does some damage, but hardly even cares at this point. And Gus Gaming, they keep looking for that initiation. Arrow comes through. Oh, hello, Kunkka. Sorry, I guess your team didn't tell you about that one. And, well, there's no backdoor protection, or there is a little bit, or was. Chappie's getting low. Torrent's going to hit the Nyx Assassin. Boat gets pulled in. He uses the Spike Carapace, though, avoiding most of the damage. Now Tidehunter walks in. He's got the Rouge available, thinks about using it. But they're really just concerned about Chappie right now. And remember, he still has the Aegis, Satanic. He's just very survivable at this point. Magnus got the Empower on PA. Some good damage to Tidehunter. Arrow is going to be hit. Now the grave is going to be there once again, Starstorm. Okay, yep, they get the grave off. It's just every single time you get a hero low, you have the grave, you have the heals, you have the Guardian Greaves, and, well, they do force back, well, or do they? Just an X from the Kunkka, giving himself some mana. And, well, Comanche have no idea that the Magnus is over to the side. Still looking for when that initiation comes from. It's just such a long siege from Comanche, trying to do everything they can to just push in the base. Do some damage to the tower. Torrent hits. Vacuum back. There's an X on Magnus, so maybe he gets an RP. Arrow off the mark. Getting hit by the Ion Shell. And he's dead. Down for 30 seconds. This has gone on a little bit long. I have a feeling, well, I kind of get the feeling that Comanche, they're going to win the game here. They should win the game here. Disruption once again hits Husker. Thinks about going in. He doesn't need mana for the life break. And Orbit in a ton of trouble. Ravage hits onto 3. There's going to be the boat and the vacuum and the wall onto 2. I do not see Gus Gaming coming back from this at all. There's an X on Mirana. They'll be bringing her right back in. Husker pulls her out. And, well, just going to buy back. Trying to stay in this game as much as possible. Fortify gets used. And remember, Husker still has the Aegis. Ooh, Arrow misses the Darkseer. He just can't really play around this at all. Back to school doing every single thing she can to try to stay alive. X on Sting. They're going to disrupt himself. He'll stay there. That's the first set of Rex being taken down by Comanche, though. And they still have the Aegis. Satanic gets popped by Chappie. Hits some creeps down. He'll go over to mid. And arrow off the mark. Misses everything. Always that chance that the arrow can miss your main target and hit someone on the backside for a longer stun. But not happening this time, and the Aegis is now gone. Puts the Husker over at full mana. And maybe we see some kind of initiation here on the Dazzle Dazzle. It's stunned up, a few more hits. Nyx Assassin goes into the burrow. Misha, okay, has the grave, and Tidehunter's here. Arrow hits. Dazzle's most likely dead here, but Husker joins the fight. They still have the gem, and look at that RP on the 3. They're all caught there. Are they going to be able to do enough damage? Boat hits Magnus, ends up killing him. Chappie, oh, he pops the Satanic. He's going for it. He's trying to do as much damage as possible. Back to school, trying to get away, but he's X'd up. Torrent hits. Phantom Assassin down. Has buyback available, and they're still chasing down Sting. Another kill for them. That's 4 down. Tidehunter's very low. But they still have the Husker alive. Still can push down mid lane. And there are no buybacks available for Gus Gaming right now. Mirana does have one, but hers is on cooldown, so it doesn't really make a huge difference for him. Now they once again go through the mid lane. A few heroes that are alive for Gus Gaming. Not sure if it's going to be enough though. Maybe Mirana can Starstorm the creeps, get away. Doesn't want to get too much in range so that the Kunkka can X her. So that's why her blink was a little bit further back. Doesn't want to be too far up. And Nyx Assassin goes into his burrowed form again. Impale on Chappie. Again, trying to slow it down. Torrent's going to be there. A little bit off the mark. And so is the Impale. And the arrow. At this point, I mean, he's got 2 Sentry Wards. Chappie, he doesn't have the Aegis, but he does have the Satanic. Very difficult to actually kill him at this point. He'll just pop the Satanic, get back to full health, and try to go for the ranged racks. Comanche, not a whole lot that can actually get them down this time around. Arrow is going to hit a catapult. And Comanche able to play the early game that they needed. Give the Husker enough farm, give him enough support. He's at Hurricane Pike, Satanic right now. And with the armlet popped, 3,100 health. That's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous, honestly. And he's also got a BKB. I feel like this game is essentially over. But they're just going to go for that final push down mid top. Mirana, she's ready on the high ground. I mean, it's not like Gus Gaming haven't tried. They are doing pretty much every single thing they can to try to stop this push, but it's really ending up not being enough for now. Chappie, he's very tanky. Very, very tanky. Gus Gaming, they have a lot of wave clear, but at this point, don't think wave clear wins you matches. Actually, okay, so Comanche, they might just decide to wait for a Roshan, which is up in a little bit, not too long, about a minute. So they can just wait for the Rosh, go high ground with that, and end the game there. Gus Gaming so close to victory. They really don't want to give this game up, but against Comanche, things might be a little bit difficult for him. This game, at least. But they're just going to wait on the Rosh, which, luckily for them, is not going to take too long to respawn. And I don't think that Gus Gaming really want to get out of their base too much.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Mirana's just going to push in top. I don't think that Comanche really care a whole lot about it.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
And Roche taking a lot of damage. He's got cheese this time. He's got an Aegis. He's got a lot of goodies. Maybe Mirana's going to try to push into tower, but there's only so far she can go. She doesn't have too much mana at all. And I hardly think that Comanche should care about her. She is doing some damage, though.
Radiant's top tower
She is definitely doing some damage. She nearly took down the tier 3 tower. She did. Alright, so she's got boots of travel. Wants to take some more, but she's not helping the rest of her team. And without the wave clear, Gus Gaming might find themselves a little bit short on things they need to keep Comanche out of the base right now. She's taking the racks, though. She's taking the melee racks. And this gets to the point where if Comanche don't take this, they might be in a little bit of a hole. But without a Mirana there, I don't think that the Radiant have to be too scared. First rack's down, second rack's almost done. There's going to be the Impale, trying to do enough damage to Husker, but he's still got the Aegis. Now, Back to School has to figure out somewhere else to go. The Ravage on the backside on the 3. Tidehunter nearly down. In fact, will die, but Nyx Assassin, he's very low. Backs away from the boat now. It's all up to the Phantom Assassin. She does have buyback, and she uses the BKB. Now she's getting stuck on the creeps, trying to get the crits and the bashes that she needs, but she's not able to find it. Now has a buyback. But I think they might just call it at this point with her not buying back. She's probably really discouraged at this point. Need to stop saying that. Mirana dives before she gets to the base, buys back. And they still haven't taken the Aegis off Chappie. It's still not happening. They'll call it GG. We'll go to a game number 3. So, Gus Gaming, not the best strategy against Husker this time around. I think the team fight was a little bit longer, or a little bit better for the Phantom Assassin to be able to handle. Her BKB did end up coming, but it was a little bit late. And ultimately, Comanche, they have the team fight, they have the control, and they have the Husker. We'll go to a game 3. I'm Pythian. You can follow me on Twitter at PythianLegume, as well as on twitch.tv/PythianLegume. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure. And we will be back with game number 3 in just a moment. Stay classy, guys.